Have we arrived? Have we arrived? We've arrived. Hello, everybody, from the Katie's Arms with me, Katie, obviously. How are we all doing? That was quite a week, wasn't it? If you're new here, let me just explain. This is the Katie's Arms, and it's a pub. And we started this pub maybe, how long ago now? Hello, my loves. Oh, thank you so much for my book. That is absolutely my pleasure. It will make you laugh. Read it on public transport and you will laugh out loud and look like the lunatic, which is a good idea on public transport because then people will avoid you. So this is our online pub. We are growing rapidly in number. We're going to need a new bar. And we've been going since the start, before the start of lockdown, when I knew all of that stuff was absolute crap and we were going to need a way of getting ourselves through this. So this is where we come. Hello from Cork, hello from Liverpool. Everyone can come from wherever. There are no rules whatsoever. Looking good. Thank you very much. I've got my push-up bra on. Can you tell? Look like I've got boobs and everything. Hello, hubby's first time. Hello. Am I out of wine? No, it's fine. And there's much more in the cupboard because every event I go to, people bring this like I'm some homeless tramp. Taunton's here, that's exciting. So we run this pub and mostly the idea is that you laugh at me. The second option is you can laugh with me. Everything is supposed to be a laugh. And absolutely you don't have to agree. So most people can be here and a lot of people will be like, the silly cow. What's she banging on about now, the silly cow? But it was the idea of the old kind of pub. You know, when you sit back, the sticky seats at the back of the pub, and you have a few drinks with your mates and you basically kind of slag off the world, you know, have a little bitch about the woman over there who looks ridiculous, or the couple who aren't talking. Don't you love that? When you go to a restaurant and there's a couple in for dinner and they're not talking at all. And it's all a bit awkward. And everybody, Telford's here and California. Well done to all the Reds in California. And the idea is you can ask anything you like as well. And I try and answer some questions. We always try and finish on time as well because people have got shit to do, to be honest. And you've got much more important shit to do than be listening to me. And also we really do drink. I didn't drink last week because next day I was actually doing a 10k. So I had to like fanny around with my drink, like as if I was drinking, but I wasn't really. But now, tonight, we can really drink. So let's drink. Birmingham's here. Thank God there's some sane people in Birmingham. What do you know? There was me thinking it was a complete shithole, but there's one of us there. So thank God. How are you? How are you? What a week for those bastards at the BBC. Oh my God. I think we better drink a bit more, don't you? Mumsy also is still on the wall. Now, Mumsy, if you're on watching this, come on. We've discussed this. Mum pops on. So everyone say hello to my mum. My mum pops on just to check that I'm okay. She pops on. I had a quick look. You're okay. Or, you know, I had a quick look. You're looking a bit haggard. Mum just checks that, you know, am I kind of vaguely functioning? So come on now, Mum. Off you pop. Come on. There'll be rude words. You don't want to hear them. Come along. Hugh Edwards. Oh my even God. Hugh Edwards. I know you're not supposed to laugh. So, you know, everyone's saying, hello, Mum, that's so cute. Don't say hello to her. That'll encourage her to stay. She's supposed to be off ogling Monty Don. Monty Don's a bit of a hottie, to be fair. So many things we've got to talk about. Also, look, I've even got my clipboard of power. I made notes. Who's checking in? Someone's checking in. Look, we've got all these things we have to talk about and we won't get to any of them. That's how this works. Oh, hold on. There. You know, you've got lip gloss and then your whole hair sticks to your lip gloss. Don't know how these girls do it, do you, all day? So, Hugh Edwards, Mr. So here's all the things no one else can say, but we all think, right? And if you don't think them, well, you're a better person than me. And that's fine too. Like, super. You're a nicer person. Probably go to church and everything. Mr. Fricking Perfect Pants. My name's Hugh Edwards. And I've been thinking, have you not, of late, that Hugh was looking hotter. Did you not think that? There was a time, he had a bit of a makeover, didn't he? So Hugh Edwards used to be like good, solid, kind of ugly Welsh Hugh. And then there was a point he kind of got, there was some pictures of him where he looked, and then it was hunky Hugh and all of that. So he definitely had some kind of beefcaking up. Did he lose a load of weight as well? People saying Philip Schofield had a bit of a reprieve. You know it. Can you imagine if you were Philip Schofield? I mean, you wouldn't be, because you wouldn't have banged a runner. But let's just say you hadn't banged someone and you were Phil Schofield and you were watching this. You'd be like that. Keep going, Hugh. What else did you do in the Travelodge? You'd have been like... He took up boxing. Yeah, well, he got himself quite to be in a hottie otties, because I'd noticed that Hugh was getting hotter. Anyway, Phil Schofield's like, oh, he didn't. Yes, he did. So Hugh knew. So Phil Schofield's had like the best week of his entire life. So it's very sad about anyone's mental health, you know, terrible, terrible. But Hugh Edwards had single-handedly fixed Philip Schofield's mental health, right? Philip Schofield's never felt so good. He's like, oh, feel much better. Might go and bang someone. No. Can I tell you my question that's been burning in my soul? Why don't all these gay presenters just bang each other? But do it quietly. Like, why do they reach out to like kids, you know, on platforms like OnlyFans? Why don't they just do each other? Like, why don't Hugh just ring Phil and just go, after dancing on ice, do you fancy, you know, bending over in the green room? I'm thinking of solutions. I'm trying to be helpful, you know. Yeah, look, Phil should send a gift basket to Hugh. Yeah, with some handy, you know, items in it. But if they all just banged each other, they'd get this over and done with very quickly, you know. So no one's supposed to talk about it. Everybody's supposed to say, oh, poor Hugh, oh, poor Hugh, oh, poor Hugh, poor Hugh and his mental health, oh, poor Hugh in the hospital, brackets, Priory. Funny if Hugh met Katie Price. You're all supposed to go, oh, poor Hugh. I'm not saying poor Hugh at all. I'm saying he's a filthy little git. I'm very sorry that people are mentally unwell, but I know a lot of people who've suffered incredibly over the last 3 years of lockdown. Many didn't make it through. Many young people didn't make it through. And I'm actually a lot more bothered about their mental health than I am for someone who feels sorry for himself now because he's been caught out jerking off to some kid or whatever, allegedly. I'm much more sorry for people who lost family members due to lockdown than I am for some £500,000 a year presenter who's been up to whatever for the last whatever many years, and no one cares about that either. But just don't take our cash, don't take £500,000 a year, and don't be in the position of lecturing us from our telly box whilst you're banging other people or getting blown in a travel lodge in Peterborough. You know? Go and do something else. Retire and just suck on whatever you want to suck on. Nearly swallowed my Sharpie. But don't do it whilst you're sat on the TV pretending to be Hugh Edwards. I'm so sensible and smart. And here I am with my white cuffs. And oh, the Queen has died. And I'm the most important person at the BBC because I'm breaking this news. I am the chosen one. My name is Hugh. I am the closest thing there is on earth to Jesus. Except occasionally I'm paying a kid to show me his crotch. Fuck. Yeah. Become a shepherd and do your sheep. Exactly. The Queen has died. But if she saw what I've been doing with my anus, she wouldn't have been so proud of me. Ah. Yeah. This is the shit that needs saying. This is the shit. And this is the shit you can't say. And this is the shit that will be posted with, isn't she disgusting? Katie Hopkins, she's disgusting. Disgusting. when I'm trending on Twitter, on a platform I'm still banned from. Trending because, what was my crime? To take the piss out of all the twats. Oh, well. Don't mind Phil banging a runner. Don't mind Hugh lecturing to us and maybe sucking off a child in a Travelodge. That was an allegation that was entirely unfounded, but it was fun. Don't mind that. Just mind Katie. Oh, that bitch. That woman. Honestly, I feel sorry for Hugh, but how would you feel sorry for that racist cow Hopkins? Huh? When did I ever? I never hurt a kid in my life. Oh no, maybe I sent a mean tweet. Well, shit me sideways. And now, let me tell you some other things. You see the club closing in, right? So people have never really understood when I said, oh, when they determined to get rid of you, because I went too high up, right, inside the mainstream Daily Mail column, more read than Piers Morgan, LBC show, more listeners than anyone else. Once you get too close to the club, they don't like it and they close ranks. And that's exactly what happened to me when I was taken out. The club closed ranks. And what you've just seen in the last week is a perfect example of the club closing ranks to protect one of their own. So the club will close ranks to push you away if you're too close to the things that are going on inside the club. But if the club feel like one of their own has been hurt, they will... You see John Sopel, seriously, John Sopel, well, I think it's disgusting the way people are talking about him. Hugh is very, very angry. Hugh Edwards is very angry. Angry? Do you think he's dehydrated, the amount of fluids that have been coming out of him of late? Hugh Edwards is very angry. Oh, terrible. We've upset Hugh. Bad us. Aren't we the bad guys? Trying to look after our families, trying to work for a living, trying to pay our taxes, paying for Hugh's salary whilst he's watching. Shouldn't do that, should I? What's the noise? I can't do it very well because my mouth. I can't do that noise. How do I do it? I'm not very good at doing that noise. And here's Hugh with the breaking news. I know, we're all supposed to be quiet about it, but honestly, fuck that. We're out here trying our best to raise our kids nicely and to look after them. And everyone's saying, well, he didn't even do anything, John Sopel, he didn't even do anything illegal, so it's no big deal, no big deal. And Jonathan Pye, I know it's comedic, but him saying it's no big deal, we all take a shit. Yes, Jonathan Pye, we all take a shit. That isn't quite the same as paying a boy for pictures of him, is it? One is defecating and one is paying to perv at a boy who's age 17 and has got a drug addiction. It's not the same thing. And, well, I could... Shall we go on or shall we change the record? What do I think Hugh will say when he's out of the hospital? Yeah, that's my mum. She's got a little crown on. I've got her cheeks, can you see? Anyway, we shouldn't really have my mum there because that's quite naughty. Because I never, show my family members because blah, 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 blah. So, John Sopel coming out to bat for Hugh Edwards and saying that everyone should just leave it because he's done nothing illegal. Jesus Christ. I'm thinking about this as a mum, or you guys, love from Malta, hello. So my son's 14. If he was 17, and then you've got someone like John Sopel saying, oh, well, the guy that was perving at your kid when he's 17, or buying pictures, or sending him 35k, allegedly, he did nothing wrong. Okay, John Sopel, how about if that was me, and I'm the mum, and it was my son, how about you come to my front door and say that? How about you look at the mother of the child and say what you just said? And I hope to God, I send power to those parents' elbow. I wish them every good thing. If I could advise them, take all the money you can take and put it in an account for yourselves. And when you're ready, get out of this country and take the money with you. If Talk TV want an interview with you as the parents of the boy that was paid, whatever the phrase is, by Hugh Edwards. Do not accept the first offer. Please, God, email me. I can tell you what you're worth. Take their money. Get all the money you can out of them. Tell your truth and don't be guided in what you say. Just speak your truth. Put that money in an account and get the hell out of Dodge. Because you are the ones who are not in the wrong. I can't get that message to the parents of this kid, but it's really important. They're being made to feel like they're the ones in the wrong. They're not. This is what the club does when it closes ranks. Did you see Emily Maitlis? I'm so shocked and surprised by my BBC colleagues for being part of the pylon. While she sat there in her Bella Freud sweater, the 1970 one with the pink. You know how much those are? 400 quid. I'm so shocked by my colleagues for lynching Hugh. Emily Maitlis is a right twat. Oh, I bumped into her during the coverage of the Biden election when no one was allowed to be in DC and no one was allowed to be there for the election, and I busted my arse in through Mexico so I could watch it for myself. And you had to get this COVID test done so you could fly home. And I happened to go to the same clinic as Emily Maitlis to get the paperwork, and she was late. And so as I wafted out of the corridor with my certificate, I said to the guy, oh, don't bother with this one. We don't need her back in the UK. So funny. Let me tell you some subtext as well. So I remembered a time. So do you know that, the bonus hole, so funny. Do you know that everybody's been told to delete their tweets on Hugh Edwards, right? Do you know this? I'm looking to see. How do I keep so healthy? I eat a lot of crap, honestly. I run around a bit and I know what the answer actually is. The answer is I'm really, really lucky because I don't have seizures anymore. And so up to the age of 38, I used to have about 4 or 5 seizures a night that would dislocate both my arms, or I would bite through my tongue. And I don't have those anymore. And that's why, so when people kindly thank you, say I look well, it's because my life is so much easier than it was. Anyway, enough about that. So did you know that, you want me to talk about Dan Wootton? Yeah, I am brown because I've just come back from Rome where it was glorious. And don't believe a word of all of this people fainting on the streets of Rome. Bullshit. They were licking ice creams and having a lovely time. People dying in the climate. Fuck off. Oh. Everybody drink, please. And if you're taking drugs or smoking cigarettes, do that. Darlings, whatever gets you through. Whatever gets you through. You know. Whatever gets you... And I mean that for everybody. I mean that for Hugh Edwards as well. Just don't fucking pretend to be Jesus. Don't be lecturing us about taking a vaccine for our safety whilst you're being I was going to say something hugely defamatory like bummed, but obviously I would never say that. Let me just say... So, everybody's been told to delete their Hugh Edwards tweets, right? You're seeing it everywhere. So GB News lot, or get rid of them, get rid of them, get rid of them. And let me tell you the reason. Now, I don't know if this is going to work. This is from the BBC. This is 2014. Let me just see. Can you see this? Now, I don't even know how to scroll because I'm... Right. This is me back in the day. This is just after The Apprentice, actually. And hold on, I want to take you to the thing here. Can you read that? I'll read it to you in a second. So it says, Katie Hopkins tweets on Ebola bombs examined by the police. Imagine that. So let's remember, Hugh Edwards has done nothing wrong despite paying £35,000 allegedly to a boy to get pictures of his... But anyway, these are my tweets. And obviously that's terrible because I'm not part of the club. So 2014, Katie Hopkins tweets, examined by the police. Here we go. After the news, do you remember this story? The Scottish nurse. She went over to try and help with the Ebola outbreak in Africa. And she came back. But when she came back, she knew she was poorly. And when she got on the plane in Africa, she knew, sorry, I was going to hiccup. she knew her temperature was crazy, but she hid it because she didn't want to get stuck in Africa. Do you remember this? The Scottish nurse, Glasgow she was. So by the time she got back to the UK, she'd been on a plane full of people. She knew she was poorly. She was a nurse working with Ebola, and she must have known she had it, but she still chose to get on that flight. So I had a point, right? Which is like, that's not the kindest thing. So here's my tweet. I tweeted this. Sending us Ebola bombs in the form of sweaty Glaswegians just isn't cricket. Right? And then I followed this up. Not done yet. I then tweeted, bear in mind at this point I'm like Daily Mail, I'm like on the BBC, I've like got a radio show, I've got a house, I've still got, I still own things like a bank account. Then I went on Twitter. Bear in mind, this is on BBC News. It's a breaking health story. The nurse has got Ebola. Oh my God, we're so sad. This is terrible. She's an angel. She tried to help the Africans and now she's sick as well. And let's all pray. Let's have a vigil for her. I went on. Glaswegian Ebola patient moved to the London Free Hospital. Do you remember she got treated in London? Not so independent when it matters, are we, Jocksville? That was my tweet, which is actually brilliant because Scottish people were always about independence, wanted to be independent. And then one of their nurses comes back with friggin' Ebola, which she knew about and didn't declare. And suddenly she's been sent down to fucking London. Oh, I know, I need treatment now. I could do with the English health service. So, I don't want to be independent anymore. I want to come and bring my Ebola to London. So I was tweeting this, which was hard facts. And then I was reported to the police, and that's when I was headlines because of this. So I was reported to the police. Police Scotland were investigating me. And the purpose of this story, which has been, I agree, just caught my arm roll in the Mac, is to tell you that my editor at the Daily Mail, where I was the columnist, he rang me. He was really, really angry. I think, was it the Mail or the Sun? 2014. May have even been the Sun. Anyway, go with the editor. Yes, it was Stig Abel. So it was the Sun. So when I was the columnist at the Sun, before I was poached by Daily Mail. Anyway, Stig Abel, who now pretends to be Mr. Perfect Pants over at Times Radio and pretends he doesn't even know who I am. And we were like bezies. Anyway, he rang me because they were so angry about this because it was seen as being so naughty. Anyway, the message was, you better hope, Katie, that she doesn't die. So you see where I'm going with this is everybody's been told at GB News and other places and everywhere to delete their Hugh Edwards tweets because let's just say something serious does happen to Hugh, it will be on the person that put the tweets out, right? It will come back to bite them in the arse and their position will be untenable. In the same way that when I tweeted hilarity about the Glaswegian Ebola bomb, my managing editor, Stig Abel, rang me and said, you better hope she doesn't die. Because the thinking was that if she died, Scottish police would arrest me and would come after me for some criminal offence of speech. How about that? See, this is all the stuff. This is why I guess I'm a little ahead of the pack because I've already done some cycles of this before now. And then the other comedy, and this is kind of, hello Cornwall, hello, people comparing Hugh to Caroline Flack, exactly disgusting. Get her name out of your mouths, you foul cretins. Caroline Flack was gorgeous, but she wasn't part of the club either. Dan Wootton, I don't know, is he in New Zealand? I don't honestly know the scoop on him. Shall I tell you my personal experience of Dan Wootton? Barefoot, down at $6.50 at Tesco's. So expensive. Everything's so expensive. It's so wrong. These are absolute bastards. I can't help but like you. My question would be, why are you trying not to like me? I'm epic. I have had more disasters. Katie, I love you. Thank you. Thank you. More disasters than anyone. I've cocked up more times than anyone. I've been the recipient of the CUNT award in person when I genuinely thought I was doing a speech to help some people that I love. I've been caught in a field naked. I have no stand to criticise anyone about anything. Hence, I can talk of stuff because I've really been through it. Did anyone wonder about my mental health at any of this point, I wonder? You know, when lawfare was brought against me, so I had to sell my house and go bankrupt to try and stop them coming for my kids. Did anyone worry about my mental health? No. In fact, they all published photos of my house and said they were going to auction it for migrants. So forgive me if I don't give one flying fuck about Hugh Edwards. I've been dragged through it, I have. But let me just also say no sympathy. No sympathy, no pity, because I'm responsible for all of it. I chose to put myself out there, so I have to suck it up. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent. And luckily right now people are starting to realise I might not be the twat I was supposed to be, although I also am a twat. But I chose to go on The Apprentice, did I not? I chose to go on This Morning, did I not? I chose to stay in the media, so tough shit. I took whatever I was paid for Celebrity Big Brother, a lot of £250,000. So tough shit. And Hugh Edwards, you've taken $500,000 plus your wife, plus all the freebies, plus all the added extras. Tough shit. Suck it up. You put yourself in the media. Don't ask to just be liked. And boy, oh boy, has Hugh Edwards been liked. Awards, oh Hugh, the saviour. You cannot ask for that. You have to expect that time to time, or in my case, every other week, people will take a baton to your head and they won't stop beating and they'll spit on you when you're on the floor. But you put yourself out there, suck it up. You're good but pissed. No, not at all, actually. This started off half full and look, people think I'm pissed because I have no filter. But actually it's not the case. It's just I don't need to pretend because I don't need to be liked and I don't have to pretend to be anything because I'm not. She's not pissed, she's honest. Yeah, and it's really hard for people actually to, and I mean this in the less patronising way than that came out, it's really hard for people to not think that I'm drunk because no one's used to someone just doing this, because all the others really want you to still like them or buy the shit that they're trying to sell, or they've got sponsors. I don't have any of that. I don't have a boss and I don't have anyone that I owe. So fuck it. What was I going to say? There was something important. Oh, Dan Wootton. Yes, that's your next tour title, Suck It Up. Actually, that is what I needed to tell you. The next tour, the name is Infectious. And it's going to be the autumn tour. Thank you so much for reminding me. Katie, you rock. I know you're not pissed. I know. But it's an interesting idea that a woman just being herself, although admittedly, look, I had a wash and I put some makeup on because I looked like a bag of shit about 50 minutes ago. So the Infectious autumn tour, not infectious as in, you know, an imaginary illness, but infectious as in laughter or enthusiasm or joie de vivre. And I'm just going to whistle through some of these. 28th, I'm in Newport of July. That's like 2 weeks' time. But that's Comcast. I must do some sort of push for that. August, Newcastle. September, Preston, Isle of Man, the Wirral, Lincoln, Rotherham. Come on! Rotherham's on sale at Katie's Arms. So www.katiesarms.com. October, St Helens, Blackpool. That's selling out really fast. Blackburn, Wendover. Hello. Hello. I'm going to be in Wendover. All right, Hugh. Fancy wending over. So pathetic, honestly, pathetic. London, November, Redditch, Torquay. Torquay is going to be huge. I don't know if there's tickets left. Milton Keynes, Basingstoke. And then to follow, Lymington, New Forest, Skegness, Ipswich. What the fuck? Exeter, Battle, Hastings, Stroud, London. Lovely Mark's gone spaz. Okay, so essentially all of autumn, I'm going to be consistently on the road making you laugh with my tour called Infectious. Please know I haven't written a single thing yet, but it's going to be fine because this shit writes itself, doesn't it? Oh, we're at past, and I always promise to finish on time. Ipswich, come on. Hastings, I know. Yeah, if you can book Blackpool, please do. You'll know that it's our mass gathering, about 1,000 odd of us. It's always a massive party on the pier. Everybody has a joyous time. We've got accommodation discounts because the hotels there are really, really supportive, and it's just joy because everybody there that you're with just wants you to be all right. And it doesn't matter what you think, doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter if you're a sturdy lesbian or a marvellous effervescent gay man or whatever you are, you'll have a brilliant time. It's infectious. Katie Hopkins, Infectious. And believe me, I have been a few... Oh, Newcastle. Newcastle is the 25th of August. I have been infectious on a few occasions. In different ways. I had, you know about this, I think some of you don't. I'm supposed to be gone. I had impetigo. This is what I do when I'm getting the dogs a treat and I'm trying not to let lovely Mark know because I'm supposed to not feed them as much. And now when I go to the dogs, Tilda and Stella, and I go, Tilda will take my hand in her mouth and walk me to the treat jar. I must try and film her doing it sometime because it's very funny. So I go, and Tilda get her and walks me to the treat jar so we can sneak a treat without lovely Mark seeing. Dan Wootton. So yes. Oh, anything down south? Hello, sailor. Down south, yes. Of course we have something, don't we? Or did they all cancel, the dickheads? I don't know. Go to Katie's Arms, sort it out. This is admin. I'm not very good at admin. Quick thing, which was Dan Wootton. Quickly. Am I coming to Ireland? No. So I was going to be coming to Derry, but the venue just lost their bottle. A director said that she thought some people might be offended. Wankers. Dan Wootton. Can I just say, so I did an article once, you can probably still find it, in bed with Dan Wootton, because he needed the clicks and I did it because the managing editor asked me. I also did an interview at the top of the Sun, you know, on their massive building, News UK, with Dan Wootton, where I took the piss out of him for being a chunker. 2 things you need to know. Dan Wootton has eating issues. When he's emotionally sad, he puts on 10 stone. When he's emotionally happy, he loses it. So you can tell the state of Dan Wootton by the size of him. So when he's like, Chumbawamba, it means he's not doing so well. That. Number 2, he's a complete tit. He's uneducated. He hasn't read. He's thick as 2 short planks, which is fine. He's a garden shed short of all of the tools. And he's a complete knob. But don't let my view put you off. And also, I've obviously filtered that quite heavily from what I would actually say. I'm not sure I'm not sure how he got to where he got to, but he got there somehow. And it wasn't on talent. So, my loves, that's it from us. Thank you for being part of Talkie. I know, Talkie's going to be amazing. Expect to see small segments of this, possibly misquoted and being used tomorrow, and potentially police being involved. I'm fine, bring it. And I love you all very much. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all the kindness. Thank you for just laughing at me or with me, because I truly believe, and I mean this very sincerely, the way that we're going to get through this is by laughing at the madness together. And the more we stick together, even when we don't agree, we're completely different, the more that we can help pull each other through this. And I know, aside from the dickheads that we're supposed to feel sorry for, that many people are struggling with their mental health. And if the Katie's Arms can get just one person through the madness that we face, then my time here will have been well spent. So have a lovely evening. Try and do something nice for yourselves this weekend, even if it's sitting down, having a wee and just, I don't know, pulling out your nipple hairs while you sit there. You know, whatever. powers you through the weekend, you do that. And then I'll see you same time, same place next week for more here at the Katie's Arms.